Because the creature is innocent, and you are not, or I am not. I kept her fine. I kept her safe. I kept her sleek and beautiful and without any sores or any illnesses or any bad things on her skin or any marks. I kept her gleaming and proud and fine and fed. I kept her healthy, and I kept her strong, and I kept her happy. And she loved me. She did. It was a little beyond an ignorant love, I truly believe. She knew me by my reverence for her. I was the one that lit up inside every time my eyes beheld her. I never could train her to do anything but sit. Usually I said sit a second after she had done it for my own self-respect. And she pulled me about 100 miles an hour down the street, and I loved her exuberance and could not condemn it as bad behavior. I loved that she was sweet and extrovert and unhaunted, and I didn't want any shadows forming on her mind from me, shouting or pulling or being an asshole in general. I couldn't romp, but my heart jumped when she bounced and wagged and waved and flew like some giant sparrow heading towards spring, and I counted on the respect perks have for big dogs to keep me safe, but it didn't always. There was always ones that wanted to fight because she was big, because they thought she was more male than them, bigger than them, stronger than them, especially drunks or mean men. And there was men in the park with bigger dogs who wanted their dogs to hurt her or fight with her or mount her or bite her or scare her, or who made me move by threatening to set their dog on her to show their dog was bigger and meaner, or to make me move because I was gash according to them and they was men. It's simple and always the same. I moved with a deep sense of being wronged. I shouldn't have had to move, but I couldn't risk them hurting her. More real life with a girl and her dog who were hurting no one. The toilet was too small to take her into, and I couldn't leave her loose in the hall because some man upstairs, a completely sour person, hated her and kept threatening to call all these different city agencies with cops for animals that would take her away. But probably I wouldn't have left her there anyway, because I'd be afraid something unexpected would happen and she'd be helpless. So she had to stay in the apartment when I went to the toilet, and I locked the door to protect her. It's unimaginable how much I loved her. She was so deep in my heart, I would have died for her to keep her safe. Every single piece of love that I had left in me was love for her, except for revolutionary love. You become the guardian of a creature, and it becomes your soul, and it brings joy back to you as if you was pure and young and there was nothing rough or mean and you had tomorrow, really. She made me happy by being happy, and she loved me. A perfect love. And I was necessary, beyond the impersonal demands of the revolution, per se. I had always admired the Black Panthers with a certain amount of skepticism, because I've been on the streets they walked, and there are no saints there. Mao's Long March didn't go through Camden or Oakland or Detroit or Chicago. I didn't get close with Huey until I saw a certain picture. I think it will be in my brain until I die. I had admired him, how he created a certain political reality, how he stood up to police violence, how he faced them down, then the survival program, free food for children, free shoes, some health care, teaching reading and writing. It was real brilliant, and he just didn't die. I mean, you fucking could not kill him. And I admire them that will not die. I knew he had run women, but I also been low. I couldn't hold it against him. I couldn't hold anything against him, really, because it's rough to stay alive and reach for dignity at the same time. You can fucking feed children on top of that. You got my respect. I stayed aloof also because I wasn't some liberal white girl middle class by skin. I had to take his measure. And I couldn't do it through public perceptions or media or propaganda or the persona that floated through the airwaves. I saw him do fucking brilliant things. I mean, you got to know how hard it is to do fucking anything. And I saw him survive shootings. The police were trying to assassinate him, no doubt, and I saw him transcend it. I saw him build, not just carry a fucking gun. Then there's this picture. He's been shot by the police and he's cuffed to a gurney in an emergency room at Kaiser Hospital, October 1967. His chest is bare and raised. It's raised because his arms are cuffed to the legs of the gurney, pulled backwards towards his head. He's wounded, but they pulled his arms back so his chest couldn't rest on the gurney. So he's stretched by the manacles. His chest is sticking up because of the strain caused by how his arms are pulled back and restrained. It would hurt anyone. I have been tied that way. It hurts. You don't need a bullet in you for it to give you pain. There's a white cop in front of him, fully dressed, fully armed, looking with surprise at the camera. And there's this look on Huey's face, half smile, half pain, defiant. His eyes are open. He ain't going to close them, and he ain't going to die, and he ain't going to beg, and he ain't going to give in. And he ain't thinking of cutting his losses, and he ain't a slobbering, frightened fool. And behind him, there's a white nurse doing something, and the sign says, "Dirty needles and syringes only," and she ain't looking at him at all, even though he's right next to her, right against her side almost. I've been cuffed that way, physically restrained. I've been lying there. I have memories when I see this picture. I see my life in some of its aspects. I see 100,000 porn magazines, too, in which some woman, is cuffed the same way, and the cop is or isn't in the photograph, and the cuffed woman is white or black. And I see on Huey's face, a defiance I have never seen on her face, or on my own. Not that I've seen mine, but I know what the photo would show. Vapid pain, a blank hooded stare, eyes that have been dead a long, long time. Eyes that never stared back, let alone said, "Fuck you." I see that he is defiant, and that the cop is scared, and that the cop has not won. I see that even though Huey's chest is raised because his arms are stretched back and he is cuffed, there is pride in that raised chest. I see that his eyes are open, and I see there is a clearness in his eyes, a willfulness. They are not fogged or dopey or droopy. I see that he is looking directly at the camera. He is saying, "I am here. This is me. I am." And the camera can't take his picture without making his statement. I see there is no look of shame or coyness on his face. He ain't saying, "Fuck me." I see that his nakedness is different from mine, that his pride is unknown to me. I see that the cop and the nurse are barely existing, and that Huey is vivid and real and alive. He's jumping off the page, and they are robots, ciphers, automatons, functionaries, and he's bursting with defiance. The raised chest, however painful, is bursting with pride. I wonder if anyone would ever jerk off to the picture, Black boy in chains. And I don't believe they would. I don't. He's nobody's piece of meat. His eyes wouldn't let you, and you'd worry what he'd do when he's uncuffed later. His eyes would see you, and he'd come and get you, and you know it in your heart and in your hand. He's oppressed. He didn't learn to read until he was 18. He's been low. He knows. He's put together a grassroots organization that's defying the cops. He's made it international in scope, in reach, in importance. He's poor. He's born socially invisible, but darling, look at him now. Manacled on that gurney, he is fully vivid and alive. And the white nurse and the white cop are simply factorums of power with nothing that is their own. The life's with him. They got nothing that does express "I am," whereas Huey, shot, manacled, naked down to his waist, says "I am," with his strange, proud smile that shows the pain, and his clear, wide-open eyes that don't look away, but see you, front to back. I've been on that bed. It's the bed of the oppressed, the same cuffs, the same physical pain, as bad, I think, as bad, the same jeopardy. I've been on that bed, and they want him to give in and fade away, and yet he has endured, and in the picture he is declaring that he will endure. It is in every aspect of his demeanor, and the camera shows it. He's wounded, but he's not afraid. He's manacled, but he's not surrendering. He ain't fucked. He just ain't fucked. There's no other way to say it. Even if he's been fucked in his life, by which I mean literally, because I don't know what he's done or not done, and there's not too many strangers to being fucked on the streets. He ain't been fucked. It ain't what he is. I love him for it. I fucking love him for it. He's spectacular. And there is a deep humanism in him that expresses itself precisely in surviving, not going under, standing up. Even tied down, he's standing up. And he's gone beyond the first steps, the original Black Panther idea that had to do with arming against the police violence. Now, he's an apostle of social equality, and he is fucking feeding children. He's been physically hurt, and he's been laid out on the bed of pain, and his idea of what's human has gotten broader and kinder and more inclusive. And that's revolutionary love. And I know it. And I got it. And while there's many reasons he can't trust me, nor me him, we have been on the same bed, cuffed. And I didn't have his pride. And I need him to teach me. I need to learn it. Defiance. The kind of bullet can't stop. I don't know if he's kind to women or not, and it worries me, but I put it aside because there's what I know about the bed of pain he's cuffed to. I think I'm annihilated inside by it. I think I'm shot to hell, with gangrene everywhere. There was a wound. I feel an inner collapse that comes from the humiliation of how they do you. I tell him, I know the man, but I don't know if he knows what I mean. I know the man. He acts to me with respect, as if he grasps my meaning. I am trying to say without saying that the man fucked me too, but I don't know how to say I became it, and he didn't. And now, I'm refusing to be it, or I'm in the process, and there's a profound injustice in making someone it, in crushing them down so their insides are fucked in perpetuity. I die for men to admire from a stance of parody. I admire Huey. I am struggling for parody. What I see in his revolutionary dignity and self-definition, his bravery, not in defying authority. I've been through that, but in upending the reality that said what he was and what was on top of him. He sends me poems and maxims, and I'm thinking whether to send him some. I love him. I think maybe he could be for women. In some speeches he says so. He says men have been arrogant over women, and there's new freedoms women need to have. During the days I type for $4 an hour, which means that if I'm prepared to go apeshit or stir crazy, I could certainly make up to $32 a day on some days. But I can only stand to do it for 4 hours or maybe 3. And I really couldn't stand to do it every day, although I have tried. For the money. I have tried. If I could do 3 hours every day, I would be fine, unless something happened. It's just that I do it, and I do it, and I do it, and not much time has elapsed, and it turns out, and I get bored and restless, and if my mind is as if my mind is physically lifting itself out of my head and hitting the walls like some trapped fly. I feel a profound distaste for it, sitting there doing this stupid shit. I feel a bitterness, almost guilt or remorse. It's unbearable in the minute, or at that time, and as if I'm betraying being alive. There's too much moving in me, and I cannot fucking waste it in this chicken shit way. It's not a matter of having an idea of a picture of life, or taking exception to the idea of typing, or being a secretary, or doing something of the sort. I don't have some prior idea of how I should be, or how life should be. A magazine picture in my head, or from television, or from the romances, or what other people say they want. It ain't a thought in any sense at all. It's that I am not her. And I cannot be her. I fucking am not her. I can't do it. I can't sit still and type the shit. It's just not what I want. What I want, which is throughout me, not just my brain, is to feel and move and fuck. I don't try to resolve it. I figure you have to be humble before life. Life tells you. You don't tell it. And you can't argue with what won't sit still long enough to be argued with. I have to break loose one way or another. Drink or fuck. Find some real noise, fucking stream of real noise and messing around to jump right in. That's my way. If it's tepid, I don't want it. And I don't do it from habit or just because it's there to be done. It's a big change I made in myself. I have to feel it bad. I don't do nothing on automatic. People think if it's on the bad side, it ain't bourgeois, but I don't. I think if it's tepid, it don't matter what it is class-wise or style-wise. I don't solve things in my mind to impose it on reality because it ain't worth much to do so. For instance, to say you don't want to be some fucked thing, so don't fuck. Fucking never feels like you will end up some fucked thing anyway. It pushes you out so fast and so far, it don't matter what you think is what you think, and it's stupid to misidentify it. The problem. You're some poor, fragile person in the middle of an ocean. You never seen the whole of. You don't know where it starts or where it stops or how deep it goes. And what you do got to do, and what you got to do is swim and hope. Hope and swim. You learn everything you know from it. It don't learn a fucking thing from you. You can make promises to yourself in your mind, but your mind is so small up against the world. You've got to have some respect for the world. Or so I see it. That's my way. But then, I ain't holding out for a pension. I type my hours, however many I can make it through, putting as much pressure on myself as I can stand, which isn't making a lot of progress. And I keep a timesheet, which I make as honest as possible. But it is hard. Not because I want to lie, but because I just cannot fucking keep track. I can't pay enough attention to it to keep track, so I just kind of approximate, sort of combining what I need with what seems plausible, and I come up with something. I cannot write every fucking thing down and keep track of my time as if I'm some asshole. I find it profoundly unbearable to do robot stuff. Sometimes I work for a writer, a poet, and I deliver packages, which at least means I go on subways and taxis and see places. And I file papers away alphabetically and I type, except she says you have to put a space before the colon and a space after it. One space after it instead of just no space before it, and two spaces after it, as every typist does. In theory, I'm for defying convention, but typing is something you do automatic, like you're the machine, not it. And you learn to put two spaces after the colon and none before it, and your hands do that. And your brain ain't fast enough to stop them. And I spend half my time correcting the stupid thing with the white liquid paper and the eraser stuff and trying to align it right while I'm typing the colon back in. And I just really want her to drop dead. Because of it, passions can be monumental. I can barely keep my ass on the typing chair at her desk. I mean, she owns the desk. She has her desk, a big desk. And then the desk where I sit, a little desk. And her desk is in her big room, and my desk is in a little anteroom right off her big room, so she can always see me, but I'm off to the side, relegated to being help in a clear way. It has its own eloquence. I feel it acutely, and it gets me mad. I try to take the typing home with me so I don't have to sit at the little desk in the little room with her watching. But she wants me to do it there, and there's this tug of war. She's real seductive. And I'm too fucking bored to care, because if I give into it, then I will have to be there more, and if I'm there more, I'll have to type more, and if I type more, I will die. There's apparently some edge she sees. She thinks I'm turbulent, she says. I think I'm calm and patient in a world of endless and chaotic bullshit. Which I say, but it falls on deaf ears. I smile, and I'm nice, and completely calm, except for when I have to bolt, but she sees some street tough or something wild and gets all excited, and I don't have a lot of respect for it. She says I'm pure. I just smile because I don't know what bullshit it is exactly. Even if I don't type, she keeps me around. I can barely keep myself under wraps sometimes, frankly. I want to bolt. I smile, I'm nice, I'm calm, but she treats me careful, as if I'm volatile or dangerous somehow, which I am not, because in my soul I'm a real sweetheart, which is the truth, a deep truth, an honest truth. I don't yell or shout or think how to hurt people, and I feel dedicated to peace, as she is too. I just get bored so deep it hurts the pits of me, stomach and groin precisely. I feel a long pain and I can't sit still through it. It's hit the road pain. She tells me how to be a writer and I listen, because as long as I'm listening I don't have to type. I listen though, often I'm bored. And I haven't mastered the art of inner stillness, though I will, I'm sure. She keeps me on, even though I never exactly get the typing done or the filing done, and she never nails me. Never. It's a long walk to her place to type, and I walk it often, because I fucking love to walk, even though it's stupid and not safe, and you have to be a prophet who can look down a street and know what it's got in store for you. And I do it happy and proud, and I fucking love long walks. I go there and back early and late sometimes. I get there and I just can't bear to stay, so I leave right away. I take some cup of coffee or food fast with her. She always make me something as if it's natural. And the typing doesn't get done, but I don't have some money either. Other times she gives me a cash advance, and I have it burning in my hand. And if I'm feeling slow and stringent with myself, I get it to the bank. And if I'm feeling restless, I'll speed it up, wanting to spit in the eye of God, outdrink him, outfuck him, keep it on me. I type. I walk long walks across town, ballets on cement, jumping and hopping, and then a slow, melancholy step. Solemn, or arms swinging in the face of the wind, or in drizzle, or rain, or in sun, in calm, cool sun. I walk my sweet and jubilant dog out in the neighborhood, protecting the pads of her feet from the stupid glass the winos leave all broken all over and the fucking junky shit that's all over. And then there's the time each day I sit down in purposeful concentration to write in a notebook. Some sentences are on a buried truth, an unnamed reality, things that happened but are denied. It is hard to describe the stillness it takes, the difficulty of this act. It requires an almost perfect concentration, which I am trying to learn, and there is no way to learn it that is spelled out anywhere so I can understand it, but I have a sense that it's completely simple, on the order of being able to sit still and keep your mind dead center in you without apology or fear. I squirm after some time, but it ain't boredom. It's fear of what's possible, how much you can know if you can be quiet enough and simple enough. I move around, my mind wanders, I lose the ability to take words and roll them through my brain, move with them into their interiors, feel their colors, touch what's under them, where they come from, long ago and way back. I get frightened seeing what's in my own mind if the words get put to it. There's a light there. It's bright, wide. It can make you blind if you look direct into it, and so I turn away. I get frightened and I run, and the only way to run is to abandon the process altogether or compromise it beyond recognition. I think about Celine sitting with his shit, for instance. I don't know why he didn't run. He should have. It's a quality you have to have of being near mad at the same time so quiet in your heart that you could pass for a spiritual warrior. You could probably break things with the power of your mind. You gotta be able to stand it, because it's a powerful and disturbing light. Not something easy and kind. It comes through your head to make its way onto the page, and you get fucking scared, so your mind runs away. It wanders, it gets distracted, it buckles, it deserts, it takes a goddamn freight train if you can find one. It wants calming agents and sporifics, and you mask that you are betraying the brightest and best light you will ever see. You are betraying the mind that can be host to it, Blake's light, which he was not afraid of and did not betray, Whitman's light, which he degraded into some fucking sing-song song like he was Diana Shore or Patti Page. How much is that doggy in the window? The words don't raise up from the light, only from a sentimental wish. He had a shadow life, and in words he piled shadow on shadow, so there's this tumult, a chaos of dreams running amok. Dreams are only shadows, whereas Blake's light is perfect and pure inside the words, so lucid, so simple, so plain, never a cartoonish lie. Of course, it's different for me, because I turned tricks and been fucked nearly to death, and I have been made weary, and my mind's been buried alive, really. Smashed it down, right into the ground, pushed under deep. But something ain't different if I could conquer the fear of seeing and knowing. If I wasn't so afraid of the light burning right through my stupid brain, you want to smoke a joint or something to make it calmer and duller, not brighter. It ain't brighter. It calms you right down. Or it frenzies you up, but you are so distracted, mentally moving here and there. You want something between you and the light. A shield, a permeable barrier. You want to diffuse it or deflect it, to mellow it out, to make it softer, not so deadly to your own soul, not so likely to blow all your own circuits. You can't really stand too much light in a world where you got to get used to crawling around like an insect in the dark, because it's like mining coal, and that if you don't get out of that mine, what goes through you will collapse you. Your mind does stupid tricks to mask that you are betraying something of grave importance. It wanders so you won't notice that you are deserting your own life, abandoning it to a triviality and garbage, how you are too fucking afraid to use your own brain for what it's for. What it is to be host to the light, to use it, to focus it, let it shine and carry the burden of what is illuminated, everything buried there. The light's scarier than anything it shows, the pure direct experience of it in you, as if your mind ain't the vegetable thing it's generally conceived to be, or the nightmare thing you know it to be, but a capacity, real, overwhelming and real, pushing you out to the edge of ecstasy and knowing. And then, do you fall or do you jump or do you fly? Life can concentrate itself right in your head, and you get scared. It is cowardice. I notice that my eyes start to wander across the wall, back and forth, keep wandering across nothing, or looking at the fucking paint. I notice that my feet are moving and I'm shifting in the chair, a straight back wood chair you have to sit still on. There's no license to move, but I'm moving, rattling my feet, rocking on my heels, and there's an urgent sensation in my thighs and in my hips and whatever sex is down there. Whatever you want to call it. There's only bad names for it, but it isn't bad. And it is real. And it sends you out. It sends you away. It makes you impatient and distracted. And I feel like bursting out. I bust out. I take all the money I got on me. If it's $10, I'm flush. I just bolt. I get out and drink. I find a man. Sometimes a woman. Sometimes both. I like being drunk. Or I start out just for a drink and I end up with someone. Drunk. Fucking happy drunk. No light, but everything glistens. No illumination, but everything shines. Sometimes I just walk. I can walk it off aimlessly. It's as dangerous as fucking. Takes nearly the same adrenaline just to take a walk at night. Even if you walk towards the neon and not toward the dark park. Ain't a woman in America walks toward the park. If I can calm myself, I go home. Though there's times, if I was a man, I'd kill someone. I feel wild and mean, and I'm tired of being messed with. I got invisible bars all around me, and I have blame in my heart to them that put them there. And I want to fucking tear them apart. I want my insides turned out and bruising them. I don't want no skin left on me that ain't roughed them up. I want them bloodied. I want to dance in men's blood. The cha-cha, the polka, the tango, the rumba, hard, fast, angular dances, or stomping dances, or slow killing dances. The murder waltz. I want to mix it up with killing right next to me on my side. It's hot in my heart and cold in my brain, and I ain't never going to feel sorry. Or I'd take one of them boars and I'd turn him inside out. And expect a thank you and a yes ma'am, and I would get it. Don't matter how dangerous you feel, all the danger's to you. So it's best to settle down and end up back inside your stupid fucking walls that you wanted so much. Alone, inside the walls. A Valium maybe, or a Lude, so you don't do no damage to yourself. Love your walls, citizen. I want them bruised and bloodied, but I don't get what I want, as my mama used to tell me, and I didn't believe her. Besides, I wanted something different then. Her point was that I had to learn the principle, that I wasn't supposed to get what I wanted. And my point was that I wasn't going to learn it. You don't name someone not cunt and then betray the meaning and make them fit in cages. I didn't learn it. It's a rainy night. The rain is slick over the cement and on the buildings like diamonds dripping, a liquid dazzle all soft and rolling up, swelled up like a teardrop. It's one of them magic nights where the rain glows and the neon is dulled next to it. Like God lit a silver flame in the water, it's warm, silver, glassy shine, it sparkles. It's a night, but it ain't dark. Because it's a slick light. And a slick light you could skate on, and everything looks translucent, as if it's moving, it slides, it shines, it's beckoning me, as if God took a paintbrush and covered the world in crystal and champagne. It's wet diamonds out there, lush and liquid. I never could pass up the sparkle. It's a wet, shimmering night, a wet, dazzling night, but warm, as if it's breathing all over you, as if it's wrapped around you, a cocoon, that wispy stuff. There's acid in your brain, everything's fluid, a monstrous bright. This is as if the acid's out there, spread over the city. The sidewalks are drenched in it, and the buildings are bathed in it, and the air is saturated with it. Nothing's standing still, and it is monstrous bright, and I love this fucking city when it's stoned. Inside it's dull and dry, and I'm not in a constructive mood. And there is a pain that runs down me like a river, a nasty surging river, a hard river, a river that starts up high and races down to below, falling, more than flowing, falling, breaking, shattering. It's a river that goes through me, top to bottom, pain that's intractable. I can barely stand it. It's not all joie de vivre. Joie de vivre. When a girl goes dancing, the pain's a force of nature beyond my ability to bear, and I can't take the edge off it very easy, and I can't stand needles, and I can't sit still with it, and I can't rip it out, although if it was located right precisely in my heart, I would try. I would fucking take my hands, and I would take my fucking fingers, and I would rip my chest open, and I would try. It's raining, and the rain makes me all steamy and damp inside, and I want a man. It's a drink. And it ain't a man I want, it's a drink. A dozen fucking drinks to blot out the hard pain and the hard time, each and every dick, The bottle ain't enough, because I can't stand the quiet. A quiet bottle in a quiet room. I can't stand the quiet, lonely bottle in the quiet, lonely room. Lonely ain't a stain of mine. It's a place of being. A room with no one else in it. A street with no one else on it. A city abandoned in the rain. Empty, wet streets, cement that stretches uptown, downtown. Empty, warm, wet until the sky starts. A perspiring sky. Empty cars parked on empty streets. Damp, deserted streets lined with dark, quiet buildings. Civilized, quiet stone, decorous, a sterile urban formalism. The windows are closed. They're sleeping or dead inside. You won't know until morning, really. A gas could have seeped in and killed them in the night, or invaders from outer space, or some lethal virus. I need noise. Real noise. Honest, bad noise, not random sounds, or a few loud voices, or the electronic drone of someone's television seeping out of a cracked window. Not some dignified singer or some meaningful lyric, not something small or fine or good or right. I need music. So loud you can hear it. When all the trees and all the forest fall, I need noise so real it eats up the air, because I can't live on nothing. I need noise that's like steak, just so thick and just so tough and just so immoral. Thick and tough and dead, but bloody, on a plate. For the users, for the fucking killers, to still their hearts, to numb anything still left churning. A percussive ambiance for the users. It's got to be brute, so it blocks out anything subtle or nuanced or kind, even. It's got to be so unceasing that you can't hear a human breath, and it's got to stomp on you so your heart almost stops beating. It's got to be lunatic, unorganized, perpetual. It has to be in a crowded room where there's gristle and muscle and cold, mean men, and you can hear the timbre of their voices, and you don't need to see them or touch them because the noise has you. It's air. It's water. You breathe, you swim. I need noise. And it's too late to buy a bottle anyway, even if I had enough money, because it is very dear. It would be like buying a diamond tiara for a princess or some fine clothes, a fine jewel. It is out of my reach. I have not had one of my own. Ever. And I don't count the bottles you see in the paper, because it's a different thing altogether. More like gasoline, or like someone took matches and lit up your throat and you're pouring kerosene down it, or some sharp-edged thing scrapes it raw. I need enough bills to keep drinking, so no one's going to chase me away or say I can't pay rent on the stool, or so I don't have to smile at no one, or so no bartender don't have me throw it out. I'm fearful about that. They always treat you so illegitimate, but if you can show enough money, they will tolerate you sitting there. There's not enough money for me to eat, even if they'd let me, so I put that out of my mind. I would like lobster, of course, with the biggest amount of drawn butter, just drenched in it, just so much it drips down, and you can feel it spreading out inside your mouth, all rich and glorious. It's like some divine silky stuff, but there's never enough of it. And I have to ask for more, and they act parsimonious and shocked. If you sit at a table, you have to buy dinner, but they don't have some idea that you could just sit there and be cool and watch, or have a little of this and a little of that. They only have the idea that everyone's lying, everyone's pretending, everyone's trying to rip them off, everyone's pretending to be rich so they have to see the money, or everyone's pretending they're going to eat so they have to see the money, or everyone's pretending they can pay for the drinks so they have to see the money. And if you're a woman, you don't even get a table if you got money. My idea is, if I have enough money and I put it out in front of me at the bar and I keep drinking and drinking, I can stay there. And then I don't have to look to my right or to my left at a man or a fucking thing. I can if I want, but I'm not obliged. I'm usually too shy to push my way in, and I've never tried it. I just know that you're not supposed to be there alone. But tonight, I want to drink. It's what I want, like some people want to win the Indy 500, or there's some that want to walk on the moon. I want to drink. Pure. I want to sit there and have my own stool. I don't want to have to be worried. I don't want to have to be worried about being asked to leave or made to leave because I'm just some impoverished girl or gash that's loose. I will stare at the clear liquid crystal in the glass, and I will contemplate it as a beautiful thing, and I will feel the pain that is monumentally a part of me, and I will keep drinking, and I will feel it lessen, and I will feel the warmth spread out, and I will feel the surging, hard, nasty river grow warmer and smoother and silkier as the story runs with it. as it falls from top to bottom. First it's on the surface of the river, then it's deeper down in it, then it's a silk burning stream, a great warm stream, and it will be gentle, the terrible river of pain. It will gentle the terrible river of pain. I will think deeply about art, about life. I will keep thoughts pouring through me as I get warmer and calmer and it hurts less. The hurt dims and fades or hides under a fucking rock, I don't care. And my brow will curl, sullen, troubled, melancholy, as from some artist on my own in my own right, myself. And the noise will be beautiful to me, part of a new aesthetic I'm cultivating. And I will hear it in the tumult of bare existence and the fierce resonance of personal pain as if it's a rift from Charlie Parker to God, and I will hear in it the anarchic triumph of my own individual soul over the deep evil that has maimed me. I take the bills and crush them into my pocket and I walk. I run. I light down the stairs and out the building. I leave my quiet room. I hit the streets and I walk fast, dedicated, determined, stubborn, filled with fury, spraying piss and vinegar to marks about 12 blocks from where I live, an artist's restaurant and bar, because I know it will be filled with ramrod hard noise and heat, a crush of hard, noisy men, artists and posers, but I don't know the difference. Posers and the famous, and I don't know the difference. It's a modern crime, but I can't concentrate on it enough to remember the ones you're supposed to know except Warhol, because he's so strange, and he'd stand out anywhere, and I don't want to get near him. But the difference mostly is that I think I'm an artist, not them. But you can't say that. And it's hard even to keep thinking it, though I don't know why it's so hard. Maybe because girls aren't ever it. But all the posers and all the famous will be at the tables where I can't go, even if I had money to eat. They wouldn't let me eat there, not alone. And I wouldn't be one of those pleading girls who is begging to be allowed to go to the tables. I'll just get a stool at the bar if the guy at the door lets me in. He might not. And usually I'm too shy to defy him, and I hang tight with the man, but tonight I want in myself. I want the noise and the hard edge and the crush, and I want to drink. I want to find a place at the bar for myself. It's got my name on it, even though I don't got no name for the purposes of the man at the door, but the stool's mine. And I will drink, and I will stay as long as I have bills in front of me. And it's an unwritten law about girls that they don't let you sit anywhere, so you never quite understand why you can't be somewhere sometimes and not at the same place the next time, and you figure out you gotta hang on to a man and you are his shadow, like Wendy sewing Peter Pan's shadow back on. It sure ensures a steady flow of affection, woman to man, if you can't even sit down without one. Tonight I have a singular distaste for a man. I'm not starting out with any interest whatsoever. He'd have to catch my eye like starlight, or it'd have to be like fairy dust where you want some and you need a taste. It's something that tickles you, but you can't reach it to scratch. Like the cut of a record you listen to 1,000 times, or you got a taste you can't get rid of, so you're like some fucking hamster on one of them wheels just running and running. You just get smitten, lightly but completely, stuck in the moment, but also riveted, so you can't shake it loose. Infatuated now, freedom now, there's some special charge coming from him, and you're plugged in, and it's sparking. It's not like you want to get laid, and you're looking for someone who's got to be good. It's more like some trait you can't identify strikes you, wham! It's got an obsession lurking under it. It's a light feeling, but under it is a burning habit. A habit you ain't got yet, but you just want to play with it once, like skin-popping heroin or something. You know, it ain't serious, but you want it. I take an energetic walk in the city, all glowing, wet, all sparkling for me, as if it's for me. The light's for me, and the rain's for me, and it's stoned out of its fucking mind for me, and the buildings are just pure glitter, and the light's coming down from heaven luscious and wet for me. The boy at the door can't keep me out because I stride in and I'm aglow. He's standing there with his little list and his leather jacket and his pretensions and his snobbish good looks, and I mumble words I know he can't hear. And I never yet met a man who wasn't stupider than me, and he's trying to decide, am I someone or not, and I am not fucking anyone, but I am striding in my motorcycle boots, and I am wet, and I am bound for glory at the bar, and I push my way through the crowd, and fuck him, and he's watching me. He sees that I ain't headed for a table, which would transgress the laws of the universe. And it ain't a girl's trick to sit somewhere she ain't entitled because a man didn't pick her out already. He sees I want the bar. And I suppose it's faintly plausible that a girl might want to drink on her own. or it confuses him enough that he hesitates, and he who hesitates is lost. I take out all the bills I have, and he's watching me do it, and I put it down in front of me, a nice pile, substantial, and I am firmly sitting on a stool, and I have spread my elbows out on the bar to take up enough space to declare I am alone, and here to drink. And he don't know I don't have more money, and I order my stoli on the rocks, and I am making no moves to take my change or move my money, so he relaxes, as if letting me there will not do no monumental harm to the system that is in place, and that it is his job to protect. And the bodies close in around me to protect me from his scrutiny, and the noise closes in around me, and I'm swallowed up. And I disappear, and I am completely cosseted and private and safe, and I feel like some new thing, just newly alive, and there's the placenta hugging me, and I'm wet with fucking life, and I stare into my fucking drink, my triumphal drink. I stare into it as if it's tea leaves and I'm the world's oldest, wisest gypsy. I got gold earrings down to my knees, and I got foresight and hindsight, and I'm a reader of history. There's layers of history, vulgar and occult in the stuff, and if you lit a fire to it, you'd burn history up. And shit, I love it. A solitary human being covered all over by noise, dense noise that bubbles and burns and cracks all over you like fire, a small fire, a million tiny exploding fires, or a superhuman embrace by some green, slimy, scaly monster. It's big and messy, it's turbulent and dramatic and never so much bigger than a man, and its embrace is overwhelming. A descent, an invasion that covers the terrain, a crush of locusts, but you aren't repelled, only exhilarated at how awesome it is, how biblical, how spectacular, like as if it took you back to ancient Egypt and you saw something sublime in the desert and you had to walk across it, but you could. It wraps itself around you like some spectacular excess of nature, not man. You're crawling with it, but it ain't bad, and it ain't loathsome, and there's no fear. It's just exactly extreme enough and wild enough, and it says it's nighttime in human history now in America, and Moses has his story, and you have yours. And each of you gets the whole universe to roll around in, because everything was made to converge at the point where you are, amidst all the rest of life, of whatever kind, composition, or characteristics. It's all great mass all around you, the blob, a loud blob, loud jello, and you're some frail, simple thing at the center. And what you are to them doesn't matter, because the noise protects you from knowing what you are to them. Noise has a beauty. And noise has a function, and a quiet girl sometimes needs it, because the night is long, and life is hard, and pain is real. And you stare into the glass and you drink, darling. You drink, and you contemplate, and you drink. You go slow and you speed up and you drink. You are a deep thinker, and you drink. And you have some hazy romantic thoughts and some vague philosophical leanings, and you drink. And you remember some pictures that flash by in your mind, and you drink. And there's sad feelings for a fleeting minute, and you drink, and you choreograph an uprising. The lumpen rise up and you drink, and there's Camden reaching right out for you. It's taking you back and you drink. A man nudges you from the right and you drink. He puts his face right up close to yours and you drink. He's talking about something or other and you drink. You don't look left or right, you just drink. It's worship. It's celebration. You'd kneel down, except for that you might not be able to synchronize your movements in your heart. You kneel and you drink. You taste it and you roll it around on your tongue, down into your throat and down onto your chest, and you get fiery and warm, and you drink it down hard and fast, and you sit alone still in the solemn concentration and you drink. The noise holds you up there. It's almost physical, the noise. It's a superhuman embrace, bigger than a man's. It's swamp, but not swampy. It's dry and dark and hot and popping. It's dense and down and dirty, and you drink. The noise keeps you propped up, your back upright, your legs bent, your feet firmly balanced on the stool, except the stool's higher now, and you drink. You're like Alice. You're getting smaller and it's getting bigger, and you remember Humpty Dumpty was a fucking eggshell. You could fall and break, and Dorothy got lost in Oz, and Cinderella was made into a pumpkin or nearly such, and there's a terrible decline, a fall awaiting you, fear and travail, because the money's gone. You've been handing it over to the big man behind the bar, and you've been drinking, and you've been contemplating, and the pile's gone, and there's a terrible challenges ahead, like physically getting off the stool. and physically getting out of the room, and physically getting home. It hardly seems possible that you could actually have so many legs and none of them have any bones that stand up straight, and you break it down into smaller parts. Pay up so the bartender don't break your fingers. Get off the stool. Stand up. Walk. Try not to lean on anyone. You can't use the men as leaning posts. You can't volley yourself off the front, sort of springing off one off one after the other, because one or the other will consider it affection. Get to the door. Don't fall on the man with the list. Don't trip in front of him. Don't throw up. Open the door on your own steam. Get out the door fully clothed, jacket, t-shirt, keys. Once outside, you make another plan. These are hard things. Some of them actually may be impossible. It may be impossible to pay the bartender because you may have drunk too much. And it may be impossible to get off the stool. And it may be impossible to walk. And it may be impossible to stand up, and it may be impossible to find the door. It's sad. You're an orphan, and it's hard to concentrate. What with poor nutrition and a bad education, but sociology will not save your ass if you drank more money than you got, because a citizen has to pay their bills. Their bar bills. There's $2 sitting on the bar in front of you. The remains of your pile, like old bones. Fragments of an archaic skeleton, little remnants of a big civilization dug up, and you're eyeing it like it's the Grail, but with dishonorable intent and profane desire. It's rightly the bartender's. He's been taking the money as it's been due with righteous discipline, which is why you ain't overdrawn on the account. You asked him with a tiny mouse voice, afraid of the answer. You squeaked in the male din, a frightened whisper, and you asked him if you owed. You got up the nerve. And you're straight with him as far as it goes, but these extra bills are rightly his, or you could have another drink, but you had wanted to end it well, with some honor. And he ain't a waitress, dear, and the money's got his mark on it, and he ain't cracked a smile or said a tender word all night, which a girl ain't used to. You don't like girl drinkers as a matter of principle, you assume. He's fast, he's quiet, he's got a hard, cold face with a square jaw, and long, oily hair and a shirt half open, and long earring and bad teeth, and he's aloof and cold to you. And then suddenly, so fast it didn't happen, there's a big, warm hand on your hand. A big, hairy hand. And he's squeezing your fingers around the $2, and he's half smiling. One half of his face is smiling, and he says, "Darling, take a fucking cab."